Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rudra and today we are continuing Python programming series. So let's start. In previous lecture, in lecture number 4, we studied about strings, slicing of strings and how to format a string. In today's lecture, lecture number 5, we will study about conditional statements. If statement, if else statement, if else statement, nested if, match case, indentation and pass statements. So without wasting any time, let's start. First, what are if statements? The if statement is used to execute a block of code only when given condition is true. If the condition is false, the block is simply skipped. So as you can see the syntax, it's written like this: if, then we write condition, then we write colon and statement. If the condition here written, if the condition is true, then this statement will be executed inside the if statement, and if this condition is false, then the whole this statement is skipped. Example, we can see the example like age is equals to 20. So age here is 20. If age is greater than or equal to 18, colon, print you are eligible to vote. So here age is already assigned to 20. Now there is a condition if age is greater than or equal to 18. So here, as you can see, the condition is true because 20 is greater than equal to 18. So it will be printed you are eligible to vote. So this statement after if statement, whatever inside, it will be executed and it is printed you are eligible to vote. Example, condition is false. Now let's see example of when condition is false. Age is equals to 15. If age is greater than and equal to 18, print you are eligible to vote. And then this, you can see here there is a gap here, space, there is space between these two lines where we are starting to write, and in this case there is no space. Okay, so we'll talk about it why this is very important. Here it generally means that this print statement is outside of this if statement. If there is an indentation, then it says that this print statement is inside this if statement. There are no indentation here, so this print statement is outside this if, so it doesn't depend on this if. So when this condition is executed, it is false because 15 is not greater than or equal to 18. So this statement will be skipped. It will not be executed, and rather this statement later on it will be executed. So program continues here. This will be, as you can. Let's see some key points. The condition must evaluate to a boolean true false. So whatever you write here in the condition, it should be evaluated to a boolean. It should result in true or false. Usually written using comparison or logical operator. The colon at the end of if line is compulsory. This colon is compulsory in the syntax. It tells the Python after this whatever statement is written in indentation comes under the if. If statement is true, then that part will be executed. The code block under if must be indented. This is how Python knows which line belongs to the condition. As you can see, there is indentation here, so it should be indented. That's how Python knows. In many other languages like C, C++, we use curly braces to show that. In Python, we don't use curly braces, we use indentation. If the condition is false and there is no else, Python simply moves on to the next line after the block. Now let's move on to the other statements. If and else statement. Definition: the if else statement lets you run one block of code when the condition is true and different block when it is false. It provides two possible paths. Like in if statement, if the condition, if you are only using if statement, if the condition is true, then it will be printed, the whatever inside if statement you want to print, it will be printed. But if it's false, then nothing happens, because if it's false, then no statement is evaluated. But if you want to provide user with answer whether the whatever you are asking, whether it's true or false, then you have to use if and else statement, because then only if the condition is true, then it will show you some result, and if the condition is false, which will come in else section, it will show you some results. So in this case we'll get two possible answers. What is the syntax? If condition colon statement. Statement will be evaluated when the condition is true, whatever inside condition if else colon statement. Here we don't try the condition, it automatically else automatically run when if statement is false. It automatically gets printed out or evaluated. So let's see the example. Age is 15. If age is greater than or equal to 18, print you are eligible to vote, else print you are not eligible to vote. So here it is 15, so 15 is not greater than or equal to 18. So if statement is false, so this part will not be printed, and automatically else part will be printed, which is you are not eligible to vote because your age is 15. As you can see output, you are not eligible to vote. So if else statement provide you with two answers. If the condition is true, then one answer. If condition is false, then one answer. Now some key points. Exactly one of the two block will always run, never both and never neither. So at any point one of the block will be evaluated or run, never both or never neither. It will never be a condition where both are printing the statements whatever is inside them, and neither of them will print the answers. So else does not take any condition of its own. As you can see, else in the syntax, there is no condition here. It automatically assumes opposite of whatever condition it is here. It simply means in every other case. Now third case, which is better than the previous case. If there are many conditions, like there are not always true or false conditions, there can be multiple conditions that you have to check. So that's when if-elif-else statement comes. Let's see definition. The if-elif-else chain, short for else if, is used when there are more than two possible outcomes. Python checks each condition in order and runs the block of first one that is true. So it will check all the conditions from start to finish, and whichever one will be true, whichever one will be true, it will be printed. So this is the syntax: if condition statement, elif condition statement, elif, and at the end there will be else. We'll end it with an else without any condition. Should remember that else doesn't include any condition. Elif will have a condition and if will have a condition. Example, there is an example of grading system. Marks is equal to 75. If marks is greater than or equal to 90, print grade A. Elif marks greater than or equal to 75, print grade B. Elif marks greater than or equal to 60, print grade C. Else, if none of the conditions are true, then print grade F. Okay, so as you can see, the marks are 75, so they are greater than or equal to 75. So the second condition, it will execute the first condition, but it's false, so it will ignore the whatever statement is inside it because it's false. Then it will move on to the second statement, and if marks greater than or equal to 75. Now here the condition is true, so it will print the statement here whatever inside it, and then it will skip all the other conditions. it will print only, you should know that it will print only one of the condition. Then the whole if statement, if elif statement will end. It won't go to the next elif and check again if it is true or not, because as you can see this condition is also true. Elif marks greater than or equal to 60. So 75 marks are greater than equal to 60, but it's not printing grade C because the statement before it is already true, and once one statement is printed the whole code is skipped. Okay, as you can see output grade B. Key points: Python check condition top to bottom and stops at the first true condition. The remaining elif else block are skipped even if they would also be true. So I explained this just right now. You can have as many elif blocks as needed, but only one if and one final else optional per chain. The order of condition matters. Notice how in the example marks are checked from highest to lowest. So you should take caution when you are writing in which order you are creating the condition, because the first, if one statement is true, all the statements and condition after that will be neglected. Now nested if. A nested if is an if statement placed inside another if or else block. It is used when a decision depends on more than one level of condition. Let's see the syntax. If condition 1, if condition 2 statement runs only if both conditions are true. So in this way, nested if generally means if statement inside an if statement. So for statement to be printed, both conditions should be true if you want to apply two conditions. Like in this example, age is 20, has id true. So if age is greater than or equal to 18, it is here. If has id, print entry allowed, else id required for entry. So we need to check two conditions: whether age is, whether he is of appropriate age and whether he has id. So with first if statement we check if he is of appropriate age, if he is older than 18. Then in the second if and else statement we checked whether he has id or not. Has id, print entry allowed, if not then id required for entry. And after that we ended this if statement which was outside with its else, that entry not allowed underage if this condition is false, if he is not older than 18. So output will be entry allowed. So as you can see, this if else statement is inside another if else statement. First this if statement is checked, then it goes in. Then if it's true, then the code moves inside. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, then Python will run this part, whichever inside is. If not, then it will already automatically jump to the else part and print this. Key points: the inner if is only checked when the outer if condition is already true. Each level of nesting requires its own additional indentation, which is important to keep track of. Too many levels of nested if statement can make code hard to read. In many cases, from combining conditions using a logical operator is a cleaner alternative. So nesting is not appreciated that much because it makes the code hard to read and confusing because of all the indentation and everything. So it is better to just use operators, logical operators and other condition methods to write the cleaner code. Like example, same logic using and instead of nesting. Like the same example we did here, we can, using nesting we can just use and. We have already studied and. So what you can do, age 20 has id true. Here we have written a condition age greater than or equal to 18 and has id. So here and means both the conditions should be true. You might remember that and both the conditions must be true, then only the whole condition is true. If there would be an or, then only one of the condition must be true. So here, as you can see, the age is 20 and has id is true. So this condition is true. So entry allowed will be printed. Moving on to the next topic, match case definition. Match case statement introduced in Python 3.10 compares a value against several possible patterns and run the block of matching the first pattern found. Similar to switch case statement found in languages like C, Java, or JavaScript. Match case is basically statements in which the outputs are already numbered, or you can say countable. So you can guess the several possible outcome patterns. So you use match case, like you take input from the user or anything and match it with the output, and then print the output as it is matched. So you can see the syntax. It is similar to switch case statements found in languages like C, Java, and JavaScript. Syntax: match expression. You write the expression whatever value you have to match. Case value 1, like here you take the variable, okay, variable which you have to match. Then case value 1, whatever this is, it should be, if it is matching to this value, then this statement will be printed. Now case 2 value 2, in which whatever expression is here, if it matches with this value, then whatever statement is this will be printed. And at the end, it is the default case. If case doesn't match with anything, if whatever expression here it is, if it doesn't match with anything, then this statement will be printed. It acts like an else. You can see the example. Day is equals to 3, so it is an expression. Now match day. Now we are matching day. Case 1, print Monday. Case here it is value, it is not case 1, it is case, and whatever it is 1, we have to match it with day. So here match is 3, here value is 1, so it doesn't match, right? Day is 3, but here it is 1, so print Monday. Monday will not be printed. Here case 2, print Tuesday, will not be printed. Here case 3, 3 matches with day, so print Wednesday. Now Wednesday will be printed. As you can see, output Wednesday. Matching multiple values in one case. Example. So day equal to 6, match day. Case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Print weekday 6, 7. Print weekend. In this way, we can write multiple values at once. And here default value. So well, here 6. It is a symbol of or. If you remember, it is a symbol of or. Either one of the values match, then the statement will be printed. So 6 matches here with this case statement, and what is the statement here? Of weekend. That's why output will be weekend. If whatever days, if it doesn't match with both these cases, then automatically the default case will be printed, which is invalid day. Key points: the underscore acts as a wildcard default case. It matches anything not matched by earlier cases, similar to else. So it is a default case. If whatever expression there is, if it doesn't match with any other case above, then automatically this will be printed. The straight line symbol inside a case lets you match multiple values with the same block of code. Okay, it is an symbol of OR. Important, match case only works in Python 3.10 and above. It will cause an error in older versions. So keep in mind, remember you should have latest version of Python downloaded in your PC. For simple value comparisons, match case can be more readable than long if else. So if you have to just match the values, you have to make comparisons directly. Then match case is can be more readable than long if else in statements. Now indentation. Let's talk about indentation. Indentation refers to the spaces at the beginning of line of code. In Python, indentation is not optional or stylistic. It is how Python identifies which line of code belongs inside a block, like an if, loop, or function. So, as you can see, in Python, indentation is important. You have to keep in mind where you are using indentation, where you are not using. You should learn how to use indentation and where to use indentation, because in Python it is not optional or stylistic. In many other languages like C, C++, or Java, we generally use curly braces. Indentation is mainly stylistic and making the code more readable. If you want in C, you can write all the codes like 6 line of code in 2 line, 3 line without using any indentation. Just you need to use separate them with curly braces, and its syntax is correct. It will run perfectly fine, but it's not that much of readable. So we in C we use indentation to make the code more clean and readable. But in Python, indentation is not optional or stylish. It is how Python identifies. Okay. So here in Python you must learn when to use indentation. Now key rules of indentation. Python does not use curly braces like C, Java, or JavaScript to mark code blocks. Indentation is used instead. The standard and recommended indentation is 4 space per level. Most editor including VS Code do this automatically when you press tab. So indentation should be of 4 spaces. You can see on your keyboard there is a tab key which will automatically indent your statement to 4 spaces. Like here you can see here 4 spaces are indented. CASE, there are 4 characters above, and after that print statement is starting, so 4 spaces are indented. All statements within the same block must use exact same amount of indentation. Mixing tabs and spaces or using inconsistent indentation causes indentation error. So this will cause indentation error. Correct indentation, how to write. Here you can see the example of how to write correct indentation. Now let's see an example of indentation where it is incorrect. Causes an error. Age is equals to 20. If age greater than equal to 18, print. Here print is not indented, so Python doesn't recognize that print should come inside if statement. If condition is true, then Python should run. That print statement should run. That's why it shows indentation error. Expected and indented block. Key points. Indentation is what makes Python code looks clean, and more importantly, it is a required part of a syntax, not just good formatting. So if you will use indentation, it automatically will make Python code look clean. This is very different from many other languages where indentation is just for readability and has no effect on how the code runs. So I have already talked about this. Now let's talk about pass statement. Pass statement is a null operation. It does absolutely nothing when executed. It is used as a placeholder where Python syntax require a statement but you don't want any code to run here. Like past statement is where when you don't have a statement, you don't know what statement you will write there, or you just don't want to print anything when the condition is true. You want to just see other parts of code if they are working. Normally in code, how coders use this is that when they are writing a part of code and they are not sure about what will come in another part of code, they will use past statement so that it doesn't affect whatever they are currently working on. That's how it is used. If you at this point of time don't know what will come inside this statement, then you will just use past statement, okay, because it will do nothing. It's just a placeholder. Why it's needed? Python does not allow an empty block. Writing if condition with nothing underneath causes an error. So let's say if you wanted to create a if else if and else condition. You have 4 conditions, but one of the conditions, you know, there will be one more extra condition, but you don't know what it will be. So you just use the pass statement so that it doesn't show an error. Pass is commonly used while planning out code structure. So you can write the outline first and fill in the logic later. That's what I just said. Example, problem without pass. Age is equals to 20 if age greater than equal to 18. Or here you will write, and let's say you write a comment here, code to be added later. You wrote these 2 lines and you don't know what you have to print. So if this condition is true, so you write a comment here, code to be added later. But if you run the code, you know, there are multiple sections in a code in a program that provide us with different answers. So if this part of code you write it like this and you are working on another part of the code in the same file, then if you will run it, then this part will show error and you won't be able to evaluate if the other block of code is working properly or not. So that's why, to make it so that it does not show an error, we solve it by using pass. Here age is equals to 20 if age is greater than equal to 18, pass. Now what does pass do? It does nothing. It just, this condition is true, Python understands that this condition is true and you are using pass, so it just passes this statement. It just skips it. So as you can see, this statement will be printed here. Key point: pass can be used inside if block, loops, function, or classes, anywhere Python expects an indented block. It is important from a it is different from a comment. A comment is ignored entirely by Python, while pass is an actual do nothing statement that satisfies Python's syntax rule. So if you will write a comment, it will be ignored by Python, but pass is not ignored. It is evaluated by Python, but its function is to do nothing. So for the sake of there is no syntax error or anything, you have to use pass in many different conditions. Very useful during the early stages of writing a program to build a structure skeleton before adding real logic. So when you will build big projects, then you need to create the structure. How will you write it? How many conditions will there be? And you have to slowly change the program slowly changes over time. So you are always changing the conditions and statements and other stuff, and you are not sure on many statements and conditions that how will they end up at the end of when the program is completed. So what you do, you use pass. Okay everybody, lecture number 5 is completed. We have covered if statement, if else statement, if-elif-else statement, nested if else condition, match case, and pass statement. I hope you liked the lecture. Now we will move on to practice questions of lecture number 5. So moving on, let's do some practice question to build your logic and to see if you can apply the studied concepts in a practical manner. So module 5 conditional statements coding practice questions. So let's see here. Question number 1, leap year checker. It is one of the most common coding questions in if-else statement using conditional. You can always find this question anywhere. Many times you will face this question. It will be asked in your exam. Okay, so write a Python program that takes a year as input and prints whether it is a leap year or not a leap year. So first of all, you should understand before doing a question, in if you are studying in a college or any school, then if you are given these questions, then generally all the information is provided to you generally, but sometimes it is not given. So you should keep in mind, first you should understand what is a leap year. Rules, a leap year is a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 400. So if a year is divisible by 400 or divisible by 4 but not divisible by 100. Here it is, you can see or. So the first statement could be true or the second statement could be true. Either one of them will be true, then it will be a leap year. But in this case, in second case, you can see there are two conditions. It should be divisible by 4 but not divisible by 100. Okay, so you can keep these conditions in your mind. We will do the questions so you will understand why these conditions, why the years following these conditions are leap year. So example, here is the example of output and input. Enter year, you will take an year as input 2024 and it will give you an output leap year. So let's see this question in program. Open your VS Code and I have created a new file, lecture number 5. You can also open your VS Code and follow me, or you can first pause the video and do the coding yourself, and if you are facing any problem then you can watch me solve the question. So leap year, first you have to take input. In the question there is what is the format of input and output. Here enter year. Okay, so how we'll do it, let's question number 1. First we'll create a variable name year, then we'll take input. Since years are integers, so we are writing int input. Now there, as you can see, when we saw the output format, we saw enter year colon. So we'll write enter year colon. Okay, now we have taken the input of year from the user. Now we have to write the condition. Now we have to give the output. First we'll write condition. So how, there are, as you can see, there are multiple states, there are multiple conditions. First condition is this, then there is condition this, and in this condition there is another condition. So there are three conditions. So it will not do with just an if else statement or if statement. So if first condition, we will write if divisible by 400, print leap year. So what this condition? As you can see here, a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 400. So first condition is the year should be divisible by 400, it will be leap year. So this sign, it shows here divisible, it shows us remainder. If remainder is equal to 0 after we divide the year with 400, then the condition will be true and it will print leap year. After that, next condition, elif statement. Now in this condition, as you can see, there are two condition in a condition. Okay, so either this should be true or this should be, both of these should be true. So it should be divisible by 4 but not divisible by 100. So divisible 4 and when both conditions should be true, then we use and year divisible by 4 by 100. What do we use now? Symbol for not equal to, exclamation equal. So we use the colon int leap year. Now we write the else statement. Now if both these two conditions are not true, then what will be the answer? The answer obviously would be that the year is not leap year because these conditions are false. So here is the question. Now let's see how does this actually work. If you enter any year here, then it will go to first condition and it will check whether it is divisible by 400. If it is divisible by 400, then it will automatically be a leap year. This statement will be printed and the if statement will stop and just print the statement. It will not move on to these two conditions. Okay, but if it is not divisible by 400, then it will check further. Now it will check whether the year you have entered is whether it is divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100. So that's how, if both these conditions are true, then it will print leap year again. And again, if both conditions, if and elif statements are false, then it will go to else and will directly print else, which is not leap year. So let's run the program first. Let's see if our code is correct. So let's enter a year. Let's enter 2000. So it is a leap year. We can enter other years, like we are in 2026, right? Not a leap year. When will be the next leap year? I think 2028 will be a leap year, sir. I think so. 2028 is a leap year. Okay, as you can see. So the question number 1 is done. Now moving on to question number 2. Question. So let's check out question number 2. Question number 2 says is question on day of the week using match case. So a question on match case. Write a program that asks user to enter number 1 to 7 and print the corresponding day of the week using match case. Easy question. We have already seen some examples of it in the lecture. So example, input is 1, output is Monday. If the user enters any other number, print invalid day number. Okay. So it is an easy question, just a lengthy one. So just stay with me. We'll create an expression. First you should create an expression, which is we are taking input from the user of the date or day. It would be an int enter day number. So we have created an variable and expression for number of day. Then now create match statement. Match day will match day with these cases. Case 1, if the day is equal to 1, then what will be printed? Print Monday. Okay. Case 2, print Tuesday. Case 3, print Wednesday. Case 4, when the day will be equal to 4, then we'll print Thursday. Case 5, print Friday. Case 6, print Saturday. Case 7, print Sunday. Now for the we have written the 7 days. Now for the invalid case, if the user enters any other number than 1 to 7, then we have to handle that case. So we'll create an default case. Print invalid day. That's just writing it. So now question number 2 code is complete. So now we have to give the input. Let's run the code. Keyboard interrupt. So let's enter number. Let's enter 3. It will print Wednesday. Let's enter 7. It will print Sunday. Let's enter 5. It will print Friday. Let's enter anything wrong. 0. Invalid day. Let's say 10. So invalid day. As you can see, code is correct and working properly. So question number 2 is completed. Let's comment this out and move to the next question. So what's the next question? Question number 3, grade calculator. Write a program that takes an student marks 1 to 100 as input and prints the grade according to the following rules. 90 to 100 marks, A grade. 80 to 89, B grade. 70 to 79, C grade. 60 to 69, D grade. Below 60, F grade. If the marks are less than 0 or greater than 100, print invalid marks. So we have to take care of the invalid as well. So this is the table. We have to create the course based on this table. So let's do question number 3. So first we have to take marks as an input from the user. Marks would be, you can take float as well, but for simplicity let's take integer. Let's say the marks are rounded off to the nearest. Enter your marks. Now we have taken the marks as input. Now we have to write condition. Let's first write if. Let's say marks or. Why we are writing or? I'll write the condition for the invalid statements first, so that if they are invalid, then the by then the code doesn't have to run too far. It will automatically first it will be printed that they are invalid. Marks greater than 100. These were the two. This print invalid. Mark it isn't mark marks. So this is done. Next, what will be the next condition? If marks greater than elif greater than equal to 90. We have taken care of the condition less than 0 and greater than 100. Now let's move on to the real condition of the question, which are these conditions. So do it this way. For greater than or equal to 90, the grade should be A. Next condition, after greater than equal to 80, print grade elif marks greater than equal to 70, print grade C. And second last condition, greater than equal to 60, print grade D. Right? There was a D grade, right? Yeah, there is. Now we can write else statement. There is no statement left here, so we'll just write else if all of these conditions are false. Then only one condition is left, which is less than 60, greater than 0, and less than 60, and in that case F grade. Grade F. So I have written the code is complete. Let's run and evaluate if the code is correct. Let me clear some terminal. So let's write marks. First let's check what does it show. 0. So grade is F. What if I write -1, invalid marks? Good, this part of code is working. If I write 105, 5 marks for extra handwriting, the code doesn't take it. It shows invalid marks. Now if I write, let's say 80, grade B. Now I write say 60, grade D. Okay, so I think the code is working properly. You can see the code here clearly. So question number 3 is done. Moving on, let's check question number 4. Largest of 3 numbers. Write a program that takes 3 numbers as input and print the largest number. Or if all 3 numbers are equal, print all numbers. So one condition is this, and other conditions we will write so that we can find out whether which number is greater or not. So question 4. So according to the question, we have to take 3 inputs, right, from the user. So A, enter first number. B, int input second number. C, int input third number. So we have taken the inputs. Now write a program 3 numbers and to print the largest number. So first we'll write the later on condition because it's easy. So if statement A, equality symbol B, C, If this is true, then print all numbers are equal. I'm writing all the first cat. Now moving forward, let's figure out which one is greater or not. First, for all the three numbers, what would be the condition if A is the greatest? So if A is the greatest, then A will be greater than B and greater than C. Both of those should be true. So A should be greater than equal to B or greater than and greater than equal to C. Why are we writing and? Because for A to be the largest number, it has to be greater than B and greater than C. And largest number A. So I have to print the value of A, right? So if next condition for B to be the greatest number, just condition as before we have written. For simplicity, we can just you should write all the conditions on your own. It will give you hands-on practice. I'll just copy and paste it. So I have changed the values. Else, what will be in else? Or I could have just written there would be no else because I have already checked for all the conditions. So we need not to write this condition here. It will be. So let's run the code, see if it's actually working or not. Enter your first number. Let's enter 50. Enter second number. Let's enter 60. Enter your third number. Largest number is 70. That part is it is a lot of space. Now let's check other ways like first number, take some big number. All of them are of 6 digits, right? Let's see. Largest number is this one. You can clearly see it is the largest number. So the program is working correctly. Question number 4 is also completed. Let's comment it out and continue with question number 5. Let's see. ATM cash withdrawal. An ATM allows withdrawal only if all the following conditions are true. Minimum withdrawal in amount is 100 rupees. Amount must be multiple of 100. It means multiple of 100 means you can only withdraw in this pattern. It should be 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 1000, 2000. It should be divisible by 100. It should be multiple of 100. User's balance must be greater than or equal to the withdrawal amount. Whatever you are trying to withdraw, it should be equal to, there should be money in your bank account mainly. So that's what this condition is saying. Take balance and withdrawal amount as input and print one of the following. Transaction successful, insufficient balance, amount should be at least 100 and amount should be multiple of 100. So there are 4 conditions and 4 statements for it. If this statement fails, then we, sh we should print this statement. If this condition fails, then we have to print this statement. If this statement fails, then we have to print either this or this. If all of these statements are true, then we will print transaction successful. If this balance is not greater than or equal to the withdrawal amount, then the second statement, then third statement will be printed for this, fourth statement will be printed. So I will encourage you to do this question or on your own. As you can see, I'll leave this question to you. Practice this question on your own. Try to solve it on your own. It is an easy question. It's just a little bit lengthy. Simple conditions. You have to create simple conditions, and so this question is on you. If you face any problem in any of this question or fifth question, if you want answer of the fifth question, then I will share this PDF with you. This PDF has all the answers to the question. As you can see, I will just show the answer. If you don't want to download the PDF, you can check the answer here for a second and pause the video to evaluate the answer. Here is the answer. So let's go through the answer for once. Balance, you take input as a balance, then you take amount as a input, enter. Okay, so if amount less than 100, we are creating the first statement. Amount should be at least 100 rupees. If amount is not a multiple, here the condition that we saw, right, for the multiple one, here condition 2. So here it, that condition is written here, so it will print amount should be in multiples of 100. Now insufficient balance one is here and else. So as you can see, the conditions are easy, not that much difficult to understand. You can, you should, I'll encourage you to first try it without seeing the answers. Try all the questions by your own. If you can't do it, then you can just check where you are facing the problem and not just watch the whole lecture like a video or TV series and don't do any coding. I will encourage you to do coding as it will improve your practical coding skills, because at the end that's what is needed in the industry. Okay, many students are watching the videos but no one is practicing. So practice all the questions. You can go to chat GPT and other AI platforms and ask for more questions if you are feeling that you need to practice more and to get a better grasp on the concepts, please. So do this. So lecture number 5 is complete. Theory is complete on conditional statements, and we have done practice question on that as well. Thank you everyone for watching. Let's meet in the next lecture, lecture number 6 of the Python programming series. Thank you.